Hey everyone, today we're going to be downloading Docker for Mac and we're going to make our way to the docker.com website. I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. And once we're here, we can go to this download Docker desktop button. And you'll notice that there is two options for Mac and it can low-key be a little bit confusing. So I made this diagram to hopefully make it a lot clearer. So we can go up to the top left-hand corner of our Mac and click the little Apple logo and it says about this Mac. So we're going to select that. And when we're on here, this window is going to pop up. And if it says M1, M2, M3, M4, maybe M5, M6 when you're watching this video, then you are using an Apple Silicon chip. If you see something like Intel Core or processor, then that means you are using Intel. It can be kind of frustrating to figure out which one you're using, but make sure you select the right one as Docker will not run otherwise. So we can go back to Docker here and I'm going to download Apple Silicon. It's going to take a little bit of time to download so we can just chill, and I'll make my way to my home screen right here. And you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner, it's downloading. Once it's all downloaded, you can click into this right here and click Docker DMG, and we're going to drag the Docker file into our applications. For me, I already have a version here, so I'm going to keep both, and it should start the copying Docker to applications process. Once that's all done, we can actually eject the Docker disk image right here, and then you can make your way into applications right here or use the Finder and click into Docker, and it should open up this Docker subscription service agreement. We can go ahead and hit accept, and you're going to see this window here that says finish setting up Docker, and we are going to stick with the recommended settings, which is going to require a password. And the reason it does is because Docker needs system level permissions to create and manage containers, and that is why it's going to ask for our password. So we can just type in the password that we use for our Mac. Those recommended settings are just going to enable features like automatic updates and analytics. And then you're going to see a screen that asks us to sign in or sign up for Docker. Now you can skip this by clicking this button here, or you can create an account with work or personal through Google or GitHub as well. Now the reason you would want to create an account is so that you can get access to this thing called Docker Hub, which is basically a repository of pre-built images that we can pull from. We're going to do this, so we need to create an account. This is personal for me, so I'm going to just sign in with Google, and you're going to get prompted to make a username. And once it's all done, you can go ahead and hit open Docker. I'm just going to close out of this, and now you have this Docker desktop screen that is popped up. I've already gone ahead and went and changed it to dark mode just because I prefer that. But in here, this is the main interface. You can look at things like containers, images, volumes. Obviously right now, everything is empty because we haven't pulled any images yet. So I'm going to go to my home screen here. I'm going to go Command Spacebar and hit Terminal and hit Enter. I'll just make this full screen and make this a lot bigger so that you can see it. I just want to verify that Docker is installed. So I can type in Docker version here, and this command is checking that Docker is installed. It's going to tell us the version number that Docker desktop is running. And if you're seeing this, then it means that everything is installed properly. But we can also run a command like Docker info, and this shows us all the details about our Docker engine that we are running. It's going to show us our containers, if it's running, paused, stopped, images, all of that. But obviously we have nothing running at the moment. But let's go ahead and change this. So I'm just going to clear the terminal. I'm going to go back to my browser here. I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm going to search up hub.docker.com. This right here is a repository of Docker images. So companies and developers publish official images here that we can use and download. I'm going to go up to the top right here and search for Hello World. This is an absolute classic if you are learning Docker. You can see that there is a billion pulls here on the Hello World image. So here you can see the page for the official image right here, and we can go down to recent tags, and I'm just going to click latest. And now you can see the command that we actually want to run. You can go ahead and click copy. I'll go back to the terminal just here and I'll paste it in. So it's just Docker pull hello world, and we can go ahead and hit enter. You'll see it's going to do its thing right here. And what this is doing is it's sending a request to Docker Hub, which downloaded the image layers to my Mac. So this image is now stored locally in Docker desktop. To verify this, I'm going to run Docker images right here and hit enter. And this is going to list all of the images stored on our machine, so we can see hello world latest right here. And it's usually going to have the repository name, the ID, when it was created, and the size as well. If you're a bit confused what just happened, don't worry. So we were on hub.docker.com, and that's the remote repository for storing thousands of images. We then copied a command and we executed it in our terminal, and that was docker pull hello world. This actually sends a request to Docker Hub, and it downloaded the images to my Mac, so local storage right here. So this image stays on Docker Hub, but it also is stored locally on my Mac as well. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and run the hello world image. So in the terminal, I can type in docker run hello world, hit enter, and this command is going to create a container from the hello world image and run it. If you don't know what a container is, I would think of it as a running instance of an image. Think of an image as the template, and the container is what actually executes it. So Docker ran the container and it printed this output in the terminal here. And if you're a little bit confused, we'll go back to a diagram here quickly. So essentially the hello world image, that's like a template or a blueprint. And when we run Docker run, Docker creates a container from that image. And this container starts running and executes this process and finally prints out this hello from Docker image, which we saw in our terminal. And then once that process finishes, the container actually stops. So the image stays unchanged on our Mac, the blueprint or the plan, but the container exists, but it is no longer running. So now if we go back to our terminal here, I'll just clear this. I'm going to check the status of our containers. So I'm going to type in Docker PS. And you're going to notice that there is no containers. This is because the hello world container finished its job immediately. So it just printed the message and then it's gone. The main thing is that containers only run as long as their main process is running. So when the process ends, the container stops. So I could run something like Docker PS -A to see all containers, including stopped ones. So now you can see the hello world container that was created 3 minutes ago and its status is exited, which means it was completed successfully. The little 0 is just exit code and 0 means no errors. And we can actually go back to the Docker desktop app here and you're going to see the exact same information here in the containers tab. So you can see our image right here and volumes right here is just going to show the data storage, which in this case we don't have any, but you can go ahead and you can delete your image if you want, or delete your container from Docker desktop as well, all through the Docker desktop interface. And I'm going to go ahead and delete my image as well. And just in case you wanted some of those commands, I wrote them up right here. So you can take a screenshot right now and you should be good to go. Now, if you're interested, I'd recommend doing some hands-on projects. Just go to learn.nextwork.org and this is the best way to learn how to use Docker in my opinion. This brand new project just came out. It's about containerizing a RAG API with Docker. And this is in the DevOps X AI series right here. Otherwise, there's other projects on Docker as well that you can check out down below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.